Ahar, Max! Prepare to be fish fingers!
Mighty Max and the jaws of doom, will he escape? His fate's in your hands!
Sometimes the most successful toy ranges can come from the unlikeliest places. In the case of Mighty Max, the line of pocket-sized playsets featuring zombies, vampires, giant snakes and ghosts, the inspiration came from the pastel playgrounds of the tiny dollhouses. In the early 90s, British toy company Bluebird was in a bit of a slump. The creator for such iconic toys as the Big Yellow Teapot had been riding high in 1987 with a share price of 500p, but by 1991 they had fallen to a miserable 29p. To turn things around, Bluebird turned to designer Chris Wiggs, who had created an innovative toy for his daughter. Enclosed inside a makeup powder compact, he created a tiny dollhouse. This simple idea went on to become Polly Pocket, a hugely popular series of tiny playsets featuring the titular Polly and her friends. Each set was contained inside a different shape, a book, heart, or star for example, but when they were opened up they would reveal real-life locations like cafes, schools or houses. Bluebird's gamble was a success, and by 1991 the share price had almost doubled. However, there was a slight problem. Polly Pocket had dominated only half of the children's toy market. Bluebird needed something for boys. Step up Mighty Max. Launched in 1992, the core concept of the initial Mighty Max lineup revolved around doom zones and smaller horror heads. These compact portable playsets, typically shaped like skulls, dragons or other spooky icons, unfolded to reveal intricate themed environments. Each set included a miniature Mighty Max figure alongside various foes and movable obstacles like trapdoors or treacherous bridges. Kids could use their imagination to create thrilling narratives, navigating traps, battling villains, and ultimately saving the day. Even better, each set fitted easily into a bag or pocket, so children could take them on the road and play with them wherever they wanted. The sets were originally themed around Max having to escape from a particular monster or creature. Series 1 featured 6 Doom Zones, including iconic sets like Mighty Max Escapes from Skull Dungeon and Mighty Max Slays the Doom Dragon, alongside 8 horror heads like Mighty Max Challenges Lava Beast and Mighty Max vs Chronosaur. Bluebird even created a little background story for Max, explaining that a magic cap that once belonged to his dad was capable of transporting him to these dangerous locations. Thanks, Dad! Max himself was illustrated as a slightly dumpy 10 to 12 year old that could have marched straight from the pages of the Beano. After a successful launch, Bluebird looked to launch Mighty Max in America the following year, with Mattel handling the US side of things. However, like any self-respecting toy line of the 1990s, Mattel decided that Mighty Max needed his own Saturday morning cartoon. Mattel enlisted the help of Film Roman, creators of the Garfield animated series, to give Mighty Max an edgy, in-your-face makeover. This was the 1990s after all. Compared to his Beano-esque British counterpart, the American Mighty Max was slightly older, thinner and taller. His background also changed. The cap was now able to create wormholes to parallel worlds, and he was joined by a couple of companions, Virgil, an owl-like sage, and Norman, Virgil's Viking bodyguard. Max also had a new enemy, Skullmaster, who could send various monsters to kill Max. And guess what? The monsters just happened to bear an uncanny resemblance to the various creature-themed playsets. To complement the show and the toys, a short-lived comic book series was also launched by Marvel UK in 1994. Although it only ran for 10 issues, these comics provided additional storylines and character development. There was even a Mighty Max video game produced by Ocean Software and released on the Super NES and the Sega Mega Drive consoles in 1994. Of course, all this extra interest in Mighty Max led to the creation of more toys in 1993 and 1994. Series 2 and 3 saw the introduction of 12 more Doom Zones and 8 horror heads, alongside brand new designs. The monster heads were even smaller than the horror heads, and just enough room for a Mighty Max figure and a detachable larger creature. However, monster heads weren't the smallest set released, as shrunken heads, as you may guess from the name, were tiny. The first 8 were often given away with promotional packs of cereal or packed in pairs, and as a result are fairly common. However, the later 8, Doom Lava Lord, Nekosaur, Gargoyle, Conqueror, Fang, Dr. Zygote and Skullmaster were released in smaller numbers and are some of the most sought after Mighty Max toys around, with eBay prices around the £100 mark. Some of the more interesting playsets were known as Battle Warriors. Initially these resembled action figures in the form of robots or giant monsters, but actually the body parts that opened up to reveal adventure zones, just like the more traditional Mighty Max products. Finally, if you wanted something to decorate your school bag, then the hairy heads, also known as dreadheads in America, were the perfect accessory. Each hairy head had a brightly coloured hair, similar to the trolls, and included a random Mighty Max figure. In terms of collecting, the Mighty Max market can be a tough one. Obviously, with so many small parts, it's easy to find sets with bits missing on eBay and at toy fairs. As a result, it is the carded and unboxed but complete examples that fetch the big money. Like a boxed Mighty Max Escapes from Skull Dungeon, which sold on eBay earlier this year for £345. The good news though is that if you catch the Mighty Max bug, there aren't a huge number of toys to complete your collection. You see, even with the toys, TV series, comics, watches and numerous other tie-ins, Bluebird and Mattel only produced the range between 1992 and 1996. In fact, Mattel ended up buying Bluebird in 1998 and shut down their Swindon HQ shortly after, effectively ending the adventures of Max and his magic cap.
Mighty Max!
It's Mighty Max!
Welcome to Skull Dungeon.
Wow!
Mighty Max!
Smasher, get up! Your brain donor is here. Me want brain. No way, slime face. Whoa! Watch out for that first step. It's not over, Mighty Max.
Will Max get fried? His fate is in your hands.
Mighty Max! Mighty Max!
You can collect all his adventure sets, each sold separately. Mighty Max figure included from Mattel.